Charter Local Edition, Brad Pomerance here in the San Gabriel Valley today, joined by Mike Antonovich. He is a supervisor in Los Angeles County. He is also a nominee for the California State Senate. We congratulate you, sir, on a smashing victory in the primary. You came in first in a very crowded field. What went right?
Well, we did very well in Los Angeles County and San Bernardino County because this area will now take in Upland and Highland.
Right.
So it's good to have the support of Supervisors Rutherford and Hagman in that part of the area.
I know them well.
And having gone to high school in the Griffith Park area, John Marshall High School,
of course,
that helped in that area. And then the rest of the area is about 90%. It's what I currently represent.
Right.
So I was like the incumbent and have strong support across the board in the community, and then the newspapers had endorsed me in the area.
But here's the question. Why do you want to go back to Sacramento? You were in Sacramento before you were a supervisor. You've had a tremendous run as a supervisor here in LA County. What made you decide, you know what, I'm going to give this a second crack?
Well, there are a number of issues that are very, very important. The crime issue, we have a serious problem, and now the governor has a new proposal for the November ballot that is going to weaken the penalties for those involved in trafficking, using a gun in a commission of a crime, abusing and committing elder abuse and child abuse. Very serious crimes are going to be downgraded so that these individuals get back on the street. And we're seeing under AB 109, which he had supported, that the crime rate has increased. In fact, in my neighborhood, we, the residents, have to pay $300 a month for private security to work with the Glendale Police Department because of the large number of burglaries that are taking place as I speak.
I want to speak with you about the crime rate because what you say is accurate. The crime rate,
and I'm paying $300 a month for special security as others are as well.
But the reason why I'm a little surprised by the accuracy of your statement is we are in a recovery. During recoveries, crime rates are supposed to drop. During recessions, crime rates are supposed to go up. In the last recession, our crime rate went down, and in this recovery, our crime rate is going up. What's happening?
Right now, you have an increase in crime because you have a lot of people who've been released from prison recommitting their crimes. On Proposition 47, we have the same scenario. In fact, the numbers, just under 109, 34,000 parolees have been shifted from the state to the county, of which 55,000 plus have been rearrested for new crimes.
So let's talk about 109 because your frustration is heard by many and is felt by many. But you know as well as I that the U.S. Supreme Court said California state prisons are unconstitutionally overcrowded. And so Governor Brown, at a certain level, was between a rock and a hard place. He had to do something. He didn't want to and so his ultimate decision was to, like you said, send lower level offenders from the state prisons to the county jails. We can talk about that as a supervisor. So we're in a very tough situation.
Two facts.
Please, go.
He did not shift the low offenders as he said he would. About 1% are low offenders. Nearly 70% are high risk or very high risk. That's the type of person we're getting. Secondly, he had the ability to have our inmates serve time in other locations. He refused to do that.
You're talking about private prisons, for example?
He could have done private. He could have done other type of
out of state.
Out of state, exactly.
But that gets expensive.
Not as expensive as the crime rates that are going up right now.
One could argue.
What is the price of a murdered victim's family? To that family, it's a lifetime.
But have we seen any Willie Hortons, if you know what I'm getting at?
We have. In Orange County last year, you had two felons raping and murdering, wearing their electric anklet while they were doing it. So yes, we have had these types of crimes.
Let me ask you about Prop 47, because that, using what you've described, is a different, I'll call it a self-inflicted wound. AB 109, that's the governor and that's the legislature. Prop 47 was the voters. And so that becomes it's a different analysis. the voters were expressing a frustration, apparently, when they said yes to reclassifying essentially drug possession offenses from felonies to misdemeanors. It's the will of the people. It's just like Britain voted to leave the EU. We may not like it. It's the will of the people. So where do you go with that?
The facts that had been sold during the campaign are not bearing out with the reality that is happening now that it is law.
Right.
And we're finding a large number of these individuals are being rearrested time after time after time. So now you commit a crime of $950 or less, including stealing guns. All you get is a citation. You don't go to jail.
Right. What's interesting about stealing guns, and I'm glad you brought up that point, the legislature is planning to put on the ballot a fix, let's call it, for that element. If you steal a gun under 950, it will be considered a felony. So my question for you, sir, is should you return to Sacramento, will you be working to put measures back on the ballot to undo parts of 47? Because it would have to go back on the ballot.
Absolutely, because we find with the drug courts, in the old days, if you were arrested for drug violations, you had the option of going to rehabilitation or going to jail. But if you did not go to rehabilitation, you would go to jail. So people were going to rehabilitation and there was good results. Now under 47, you don't have to go to rehabilitation because if you are told by the court to go, you don't have to, and there's no penalty. There's no penalty for subsequent arrests and failure to go. And that has to be changed. You have to either have rehabilitation or go to jail. You can't have a free ride.
Right. Prop 47 had indicated that the savings would go for, we'll call them rehabilitation programs. The money, I guess, is supposed to start this summer, but what you just described again is accurate. What we know is that, well, I give you props. What we know is that we had a situation where you had these wobblers, could be a felony, could be a misdemeanor, for drug possession. If you want to have it as a misdemeanor, go to drug court. Now it's a misdemeanor. People aren't going to drug court.
This is a serious problem. 47 is not doing what the people thought it was going to do, because when you say you're going to have savings now, we're not factoring in the cost of insurance that is being escalated, the cost of a crime that's being committed against a family, be it a rape, a murder, or other types of assault. Those costs are not being factored in. And those are costs that impact individuals and families for generations.
If there's any silver lining, and I don't know if there is one, are county jails less impacted because they had been very impacted by AB 109?
This was the problem. The sheriff was reducing the time that a person who was going to county jail for a year or less to maybe 50% or 20% time served. Now they are increasing that back to the time that you should be serving, so they're increasing that rate that you will serve your full sentence.
So presumably good news on that front.
Yeah. So basically the fluctuation is about the same. So you're not having those savings, so you're not releasing the inmates from all the jails. And what we're finding out, those individuals who are part of the program continue, many of them, repeating their crime and getting worse and worse and worse.
His name is Mike Antonovich. He is currently a member of the Board of Supervisors in Los Angeles County. He is seeking a return performance to the California State Senate. He placed in first in the primary district number
25.
That general election will be held in November. My name is Brad Pomerance in the San Gabriel Valley, Charter Local Edition.